Hello, and welcome to Scary Times. I'm your host, John Ferris. Scary Times is brought to you by STZ Media and Entertainment and Dead, Buried, and Back. Joining me today are my co-hosts, Chrissy.
AKA Little Firecracker.
And Amber.
AKA Amber.
On today's show, we'll recap last week's episode of The Walking Dead. Great episode. And we'll talk about what's new in horror entertainment news and what's going on in Atlanta. Ladies, let's jump into The Walking Dead. Tell me what you thought about last week's episode entitled Alone.
I thought it was a great introduction to Bob's backstory, which we hadn't got a chance to see. So
The title's perfect because everybody's kind of alone, or they all feel alone, which I get as well.
Which we have talked about off camera before about how they've broken it down into like in little tiny segments in a soap opera,
Yeah.
which is a great way to get grown men to watch a soap opera. You throw in zombies, and that takes care of it.
Well, if you put it that way, good to know.
But no, I agree with you, Chrissy. I think that getting the background with Bob coming in, and then of course Daryl and Glenn giving him the third degree.
well, they had to make sure, they had to find out why he was alone. Was it because everyone you were with died, or was it because you killed them? Because it's a lot of, did you snap? Have you snapped yet? Because if so, we can't bring you back with us.
Yeah.
Which is good because obviously that they got a good feel for him in that 5 or 10 minutes. And for the rest of us, the audience, we got to see how Bob got to that point,
Right.
which was interesting.
Till then, he was unknown. He was just an unknown guy, and why were they trusting him at all in general when they don't trust anybody else? So I think that it is definitely a necessity.
And then, of course, we moved into what everybody's been dying to see, Daryl and Beth and their relationship. I don't know if blossom's a good word to use, but, she hurts her ankle and it carries her in strength. That's all right.
Strengthened.
Blossom's weird.
Yeah, their relationship strengthened. We'll go with that one.
Well, considering in the previous week, I mean, they were having a fit, or he was having a fit back and forth, giving her all this attitude. She didn't know where he stood. Now, like I said, he's cradling in her arms, looking after her. They're in the funeral home. They're bonding up until...
They need each other.
Yes.
Which is, I think, a lot of, with this episode, was needing other people. As much as you feel alone or you're wanting to be alone, you can't. You need those other people.
Right.
Which kind of leads into Maggie and them.
Yeah. And let's talk about Maggie for a second. Or one of you guys want to talk about Maggie and, well, I don't want to call it a breakdown, but I guess she'd had enough with Sasha and Bob.
She's consistently having breakdowns. Wow, that was tough. Yes.
I think Sasha just pushed her too far. Because Glenn is what she's been looking for. That's what she needs to find him. And for Sasha to be like, why bother? He's dead. Was just too much for her to handle.
It's kind of a fatalistic attitude to have anyway. I mean, it's if that were our significant other, I mean, yes, you need food, you need water, you need shelter, but you need to know. Yeah. The bottom line is you need to know one way or another.
Yeah, well, and I get that as far as Maggie goes, but as far as Sasha's concerned too, it's kind of like that wall that's thrown up. I mean, if everybody you know dies and they consistently keep dying, then it's an automatic. Why even go searching for somebody that you know is dead? But I feel for Maggie, and Maggie has to find Glenn.
She does.
And she does. But hey.
And that's why she's going to leave all those breadcrumbs behind.
Well, and that was a good trail.
Right.
And then, of course, what did y'all think about Bob and Sasha kissing? Or him kissing her? What did you think about that little... I wonder if Robert and Greg and those guys threw that in there to make her appreciate Maggie's situation a little bit better. And kind of like, okay, wait a minute, there's more than a friend thing going on here, or there's more of an appreciation thing. I mean, it wasn't a big kiss, just a little something to say, hey.
They might be trying to make us like her more. I think that's probably their way of making her look more human.
Maybe. I guess we'll see. And what about the big scene with Daryl and Beth and the zombie attack and Daryl seeing Beth? I mean, I didn't even see her. The car took off.
Yeah.
Friend, foe?
Friend.
What do you think, Chrissy? Foe? Friend, foe?
I want to say foe. I mean, because obviously they just kidnapped her. They put her in the car. Whether it was for her safety or not, we don't know, but they still took her against her will.
I mean, Daryl looked pretty exhausted, depressed, angered, sitting down that road there when the group showed up. I mean, that was just great. He just built this big bond, and now he's alone again.
Yep.
Alone again. So I guess we're going to find out where that goes. But at least at the end of the show, we found Maggie, didn't we?
We did. Sasha and them reunited, so they weren't alone.
Killing zombies with street signs.
No parking.
Kill a zombie with no parking sign. And tonight's episode, of course, is The Grove. So I guess it's going to kind of sew up some things because everybody's now eagerly wanting to see if this group that has, well, more or less threatened Daryl, if they're going to be those cannibals, like a lot of us suspect that is the group that Rick escaped from 2 episodes ago. So I guess we will see. Moving on to local news and entertainment, let's talk about Addie Miller. I don't know if you guys are familiar with Addie, but she was the zombie girl in episode 1, scene 1 that Rick killed with a little teddy bear. Addie's had a few interesting projects going on lately that Dead Buried and Back's been following, Sugar Skull Girls. But now she is co-starring with Casper Van Diem from Starship Troopers in the new supernatural thriller June, which will be shooting down in Louisiana. And the story premises around a little girl that gets invaded, or her body gets taken over by an alien that's kind of hell-bent on destroying the world. So that's kind of interesting.
Nothing scarier than a little girl trying to kill everybody.
Possessed little girl, right?
It's kind of creepy.
Little kids are creepy.
They are.
She should be walking around saying Fuzzy Wuzzy was a bear.
Next topic.
And next topic. But we do wish her luck on that. So
Absolutely.
Looking
Addie.
forward to that. Congratulations, Addie. Next thing I want to talk about is Supernatural. Have you all seen the exclusive photos we put up on the online magazine from Supernatural?
We have, and that is Misha Cullen's first episode that he got to direct, so it looks awesome from the pictures.
Well, Supernatural's been doing well. They're into, 8, 9 seasons?
Yeah.
And now they have a spin-off coming on.
Yeah, which they just retitled. So that's kind of neat. So hopefully it'll do really well. I mean, the Vampire Diaries has the original, so why not?
CW can do spin-offs, so it's
Have y'all followed the Supernaturals?
Well, she does more than I do. She's kind of mildly obsessed, actually. She has, I think, every season on DVD.
I do.
I've watched
like the show?
enough of it.
I do.
I think I've probably watched up to season 6.
I mean, it's a great show. They're always killing something.
2 sexy guys.
That's why I would watch it, yeah.
I assume so.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
it's a very good assumption.
Because I fall into that market there. Yeah, right. Anyway, no, I've got my favorites on The Walking Dead and stuff, and so we'll leave it at that. Okay, tell us, young lady, about Constantine.
They are doing some castings as far as, it's just some extra casting. So if you want to get on set, see what's going on in town, if you go to Casting 360, you can sign up and register, I guess is the best way to do that. And it'll show you some breakdowns. So if you want to get on set there'll be long days, but it's fun and you get to see a lot of behind the scenes stuff that's going on in Atlanta. So Casting 360, Constantine, and I think they're still doing some Mockingjay, so Hunger Games stuff. But you can find all sorts of stuff on there.
It's a chance to be a nice, cool, creepy character. So
Yeah.
it would be a fun day.
For those who are not familiar, Keanu Reeves a few years back did that movie Constantine. Now they didn't really stick to the source material, but from the buzz on the web, in DC Comics and stuff, that they're planning to stick to the source material with this, which is good. I mean, I'd really like to see more character development coming out of the comic series and see how that develops. I mean, The Walking Dead has had incredible success with it. There's other pilots in the works coming from comics, so I guess we'll wait and see.
Yeah. We'll see. It's like, it's one of those situations again where it's gonna be. I have a feeling it's gonna be a good pilot. It'll hopefully get picked up, which means it'll have a long running time. So they have to hold out on characters and different things. So if things don't match up now, hopefully they will later. Unlike the movie that didn't match up at all.
Yeah.
Conventions, Chrissy.
All right, so next weekend we have Mad Monster Party, which has been around for quite some time. We're so excited because we get to go next weekend. And this one is out in North Carolina, and they do ones in Louisiana as well. So Stan the Zombie will be there, and we're going to try and get him to eat William Shatner. Or at least
was the
I
plan.
will.
After we get autographs.
After we get autographs. But it should be a blast. It's a very big convention. It's got a great following, and we're excited.
And I'd like to add, Atlanta folks, if you guys haven't been to Mad Monster Party, North Carolina, it's a really highly rated and regarded con, so you might want to make that short trip up there if you don't have a lot of plans next weekend. Dead, Buried, and Back, if you come up from Atlanta and you find us, we might just have a little something for you. So try and hook up with us next Saturday, North Charlotte, North Carolina, Mad Monster Party. Dead, Buried, and Back will be there. And if you can't find us, look for Stan the Zombie. You'll be staggering around somewhere. And speaking of conventions, we just got word. The World Horror Convention is a convention that's been going on for about 25 years. As a matter of fact, this year is the anniversary. They have not been in Atlanta since 1996. So that's really great that they're coming to Atlanta. What's even better is they've asked Dead, Buried, and Back to handle their PR and marketing, which is awesome. That is a great honor. We're excited about it. For those of you not familiar with the World Horror Convention of the Horror Writers Association, it is pretty much the cream of the crop in horror for horror writers and novelists, but it covers poems and comics, and it's just a phenomenal convention. And so we're really looking forward and excited about them, being here in Atlanta. John Mayberry, one of the A-list authors, is the Toastmaster this year. Not plugging my own dad, but my dad's a guest. You got to plug Dad, right?
You have to plug.
You got to plug your
really
dad.
upset if you weren't.
So we're excited. I'm excited that my father John Ferris will be there as a guest of honor, and along with Joe McKinney and.
Because he's up for a Bram Stoker Award, is he not?
And yes, he is. There are a lot of them are. So I mean, it's great. And speaking of Bram Stoker Awards, the Bram Stoker Awards are what the Grammys are to music and the Oscars are to film. It's an incredible honor just to be nominated, but to receive an award is incredible. You can ask any of the authors that have got them, and they film that, and that will be part of the convention. So next May. I know it's a little ways off, but that's going to be a big event in Atlanta, so we're really excited about that.
And that's going to be, you said May next year, right?
May of next year.
Cool.
Absolutely. Trissy, tell us about Grimm real quick. What's going on with Grimm?
All right, so get everyone caught up on Grimm real quick. This episode, we kind of dove into a new type of Vessin back from ancient Egypt. So apparently all those old Egyptian gods were actually Vessin. So Alexander from the council... Fun fact.
Good to know.
Good to know. Fun
Good
fact.
to know.
Absolutely.
So we actually have Alexander from the council come back and actually enlist Nick and Hank's help with getting a hold of this mummy that is a Vessin and giving it a proper burial that it deserves. So, really good episode.
Cool. Grimm. A lot of fans out there with Grimm. What season is Grimm in, Christy, right now?
I'm going to say it is in its 3rd season.
And that comes on what nights?
NBC, I always watch it on Hulu, so I'm not really
Oh,
sure.
Hulu. Well, a lot of people do.
Yeah,
It's on Hulu.
Hulu's got everything.
Hulu's got it. It comes on
Hulu
Friday.
has absolutely everything.
It comes
It is
on Friday
Friday,
night.
you're right.
Yeah.
It's hard. I'm not trying to put you on the spot here. Not that I would do that.
Not that you would. No.
Obviously not.
Obviously
Hulu
not.
has everything.
But it's nice that, we've got Supernatural, we've got Bitten on the Sci-Fi Network out of Canada, we've got The Walking Dead, Vampire Diaries, Originals, Sleepy Hollow,
Arrow. I've gotten into Arrow lately.
Arrow's pretty good.
Arrow. It's a lot to keep up with. Even if you're a big time horror fan, to try to catch up everything. So I guess thank you to Hulu for.
Hulu, Netflix,
Thank you,
and
Hulu.
all of those sites.
There's your plug.
Thank you.
Okay, speaking of Grimm, by the way, have you started spring cleaning yet?
No, is it spring?
I mean, I would not consider this spring. No.
But
Have
technically,
you
I guess.
cleaned lately?
No, not really. No.
Okay.
John, you?
Absolutely.
You're the only one.
Yeah, I know. Shit. Beep. Okay, well, either way, Stan the Zombie has apparently started cleaning, and he's not achieving much, I don't think. Way to go, Stan. Keep trying. You got this.
Well, it looks like Stan's having a little difficulty with the spring cleaning, so let's go ahead and introduce our guest today. Joining us on the show will be Elizabeth Stacy from Zombie Socks. Elizabeth, thank you for joining us today.
Thank you. I'm excited to be here.
We're excited to have you.
Yay!
I'm super excited because I've actually have had the pleasure of working under Miss Elizabeth Stacy before on her show Zombie Socks, and it was an absolute blast. I made a lot of friends, and it was just a really, really fun set to be on. And she's absolutely amazing, so there's always that. So,
Thank you, Amber. You make good coffee.
and this is how she remembers me by, is I make good coffee.
No, there's one like quirky little something that I always remember each person that acts on my show. That's how I remember them just as on a personal level. So, you know, when they forgot and went out and did a Starbucks run and left me hanging with no coffee, you went and made me the best cup of coffee I had on set the entire day. So
Take that, Starbucks.
Ooh!
What? I'm just
Ouch.
kidding. I love you. Pumpkin spice. We're good.
yeah.
All right. So how have you been? How is everything?
Good. Been busy. We're waiting for episode 5. It's in post-production, the one that you were in. Our composer, Brian Popkin, who's a dear friend of mine, became very, very sick. And he ended up with pneumonia and the flu. And so while we are waiting for him to recover, that's pushed our release date back quite a bit. So keep him in your prayers.
We're so
still
happy you're
healing.
doing
He's
better.
home now.
Yeah.
So
That's
But-
awesome.
yeah,
That was quite something, Elizabeth. How long was he in the hospital for?
he was in ICU for 29 days, and then for another couple of weeks after that, he was in the rehab center, and he's finally home. So, but we're glad he's back on track and ready to get cranking. But this is just as much his baby as it is mine. So we wanted him to stay on and work with it. So that's why we pushed our release date back to hopefully Easter. We'll be able to get out the 2-part epic season finale, and Stan the Zombie is in it as well.
So can you give us a little bit more background about Zombie Socks, the first season?
Okay. Well, basically, I started in this business in July of 2012. I came up with a concept. I had worked on a friend of mine's set and watched him shoot a pilot. And I was very interested in how the whole process worked. And I kind of thought to myself, you know, I think I could probably do this. I think if I came up with the right concept, I could actually do this better. And so I wrote the first set of scripts. I came up with an outline for several episodes, worked with a couple of different writers. Within a month, when we walked into Dragon Con in August 2012, we had 3 scripts. We had a music video parody all mapped out, and it just sort of, we hit the ball, hit the ground running. And by October, we'd shot our first 2 episodes, our music video, and it just kind of took off from there. It's been a really incredible experience. I've gotten to work with some amazing folks in the industry here in Atlanta. And only being in the film industry for the past 1.5 years, almost 2 years, it's been an incredible learning experience. Every day I learn something new, and then I take that and apply that to my show.
And you had an awesome, incredible experience at Days of the Dead convention.
Yes, I never actually go to conventions and just go to conventions. I end up working the conventions. So yeah, 2 important things that happened there. I met, met you for the first time. And
See, that's all you need, right?
Yeah,
That's awesome.
That was what I meant by
we
incredible.
hung out, and that was really cool. And I talked to a whole bunch of different folks. Met Ken Foray and talked to him a little bit about the show. He invited me to sit with him at his table and continue talking about filmmaking. And as folks were coming up asking him for more autographs, we just continued our conversation for about 30 minutes, and that was pretty cool.
That's so neat.
That's awesome.
That is really, really cool.
And then I went and met Richard Masur, who I've been a fan of forever. He was in Stephen King's It, and that was one of my favorite movies. And we had a conversation, and I was telling him that we became a SAG New Media series, and that just really impressed him. And I did not know at the time he had actually been president of SAG for several years back in the 90s. And so he ended up giving me a free autograph and said that, it was really impressive that I did this, and was just like super nice and gave me a big hug. And you were there for that one. And, but no, I thoroughly enjoyed it. I love going to conventions and stuff like that and just talking to folks.
It was a great experience. And then you still have that picture in your
I
office
do.
now.
I hung it in my office.
Well, good. So what else is going on?
Well, besides we're getting ready to finish post-production for episode 5. We are starting to submit to festivals, and we're trying to raise money to do that, because every time we submit to a festival to screen, it costs money. So, I mean, it could be anywhere from $25 to $50 each. So if you go to our website, undeadrental.com, we take donations, and that's how we make the show, and that's how we promote the show, is through donations. And so if you're willing to go and give us a hand, we give credit for that on our show. But the next thing we're doing, we've joined the Georgia Production Partnership, which is real important, because to stay involved, with the film industry in Atlanta and be as involved as I can be. I've also joined the Academy of Model Aeronautics because I plan to start flying drones for shooting the HD camera drones. And
They are
yes,
really,
it's a lot of fun.
there was one on set.
Yes,
and
we
they
had
were
some.
having a blast with it. Actually, they
They
had
were
some
having-
really cool footage.
Way too much fun with that helicopter cam. There was no doubt about that thing. That was awesome.
I mean,
But that's really becoming a big thing now. So in order to get the proper training, in order to do it properly, and for folks to come to me and say, hey, we would like this service, that's something that we'll be able to do in the future. And then, but I do a lot of charity work, and I use the show in order to be able to do that. The more we grow and people understand what we do, I take that status and am able to do good things for other people. And as a charter graduate of the National Guard Youth Challenge program in Georgia, I'm going to go down to Fort Stewart and help shoot some PSAs and talk to the students down there about, the fact that taking the second chance that you have after you've dropped out of high school to go back to school and achieve what it is that you're meant to do in life, it doesn't matter what it is, but you can do that. So I'm going to get to do that in April.
Now they've got a real big production going on down there in Sonoya, in the surrounding areas, especially around Pinewood. I mean, that area has just really grown, and there's a lot of great stuff happening down there. Why don't you tell us what's, because you had mentioned to us before, you have some opportunities arising down there near Pinewood.
I'm from Griffin, and we're about an hour south of Atlanta, and we're just about 15 minutes from Sonoya and about 45 minutes or half an hour from Fayetteville, and just outside of Fayetteville is where they're making Pinewood. Well, Southern Crescent Technical College in Griffin is actually they're in the process of building some field programs on the technical end, not the creative end, the grips and the sound and stage mechanics and that kind of thing. They're starting programs that they hope to kick off in the fall. So, and that's in conjunction with Pinewoods and the other studios that they need people to come work. So we're offering courses to train people to go work there.
That's cool.
That's very neat. That's gonna shoot off. Like, people are gonna be really interested in that.
Yeah.
So if you're one of those behind the scenes persons, the tech geeks and stuff, this is your opportunity then, right, Elizabeth?
Yeah, they're gonna have
Tech geeks.
they have makeup. They're gonna have special effects makeup classes. Not just that. So it's an opportunity to come and work and get some hands-on stuff. They'll have our opportunities for you to crew for different shows and different things like that. And I think it's gonna be a wonderful experience.
That's really cool.
Yeah.
Yeah. Neat.
Any other questions, young ladies, you might have for Miss Elizabeth? Pop it in your head.
All I know is I'm just excited to see our episode.
I know. 'Cause
Everybody
you
really
play-
need go check out Zombie Socks on Facebook. It's
Zombie Sock series.
Facebook series. They're all awesome. They're funny, and who doesn't want to watch people killing zombies and being chased by zombies, and then zombies singing at the end.
Yes, we have music video.
Yes,
That
And,
is
and
awesome.
that's
That's
hilarious.
right.
like
yes.
what I'm exactly.
How many episodes, just to do a quick recap, have been done from Zombie Socks, Elizabeth?
Right now we have 4 full episodes. We have 3 versions of the music video out. Every time we do another episode, we blend in the characters from each episode. So the Zombie Socks, The Last Call, is the most current one, and it has the folks, Stan the Zombie, and it has Amber in it, and several other folks.
Refresh my memory, what was Amber doing again in...
Amber plays 2 characters. She plays the secretary, and she also plays a zombie. So she pulled double duty on the show.
That's awesome.
It was fun. It was a really good time, and we were out in it was a beautiful set, beautiful house, and like I said, the environment was just amazing. I loved being there. It was a really good time. Set and crew, and everybody was just amazing.
Yeah, it was the biggest set that we'd had to date. I think we had
Cast and crew.
Wow.
The set was great.
Yeah. I think that was the biggest one we've had so far to date. We had like 50 people on set for that one shoot, and we had stuff going on over here and stuff going on over here, and then we blended it all together, and then we had the zombie lawyer come in and do his commercial with everybody too. So it was just like, come on, everybody, let's just film everything at one time.
Yeah.
Let's plug my favorite part of the show, which was the ice cream parlor.
Oh yeah,
We got-
the zombie dance, the singing for the music video.
That was awesome. That was absolutely awesome. Tell me, refresh my memory real fast, Elizabeth. The name of that ice cream parlor was
Ladybugs.
Ladybugs.
Laney,
Bugs.
because it's Laney's. It's okay. So the person's house that we were at, he's amazing, by the way. He literally bought an ice cream parlor for his daughter and named it Laney Bugs, and it is the cutest little ice cream parlor ever.
It's gourmet ice cream. I mean, they have like salted caramel and bacon ice cream and all kinds of crazy stuff.
I just thought we should plug them because they were really hospitable. They were nice.
They're
We had a great time, so I thought that was nice.
My friends Dwayne and Leah Singleton, we shot at their house, and then we shot at their business, Singleton and Singleton, they're lawyers, and then the ice cream parlor was also part of their work area. So yeah,
Yes.
they were super nice. Great
Y'all are
friends of mine I've
amazing.
known since college, been begging me to shoot at their place, which we didn't mind. We had the huge floor chests and the downstairs and the movie theater and the billiard room with Star Wars stuff. It was great. And the heated pool.
Yeah, and the heated pool.
I missed that.
Yeah, we had a heated pool.
Oh,
We swam in it. We had a party after. Yeah, what did we do? Was it music?
We did. We played. We
Wait a
played.
minute.
We
Wait
played
a
a
minute.
lot
Where
of
did all this go
charades.
down?
Either
This
way,
after
if you're an
shooting.
actor, try to get on set. Obviously, it's fun. Obviously,
Yeah.
we have a good time.
We do. It was very Saturday Night Live kind of cast. We have folks
Yeah.
that come back and reprise roles. We have people that come back and play different roles, and then we add new people all the time. So it's constantly changing, and it's a lot of fun, and the concepts are really from here to eternity because we can keep making this stuff.
Yeah.
It's great.
So.
Elizabeth, I cannot thank you enough for being here today and sharing stories. It's been great. I've just got volumes now. So it's always
All
fun,
the stuff
always
you
entertaining.
miss.
And I really look forward to more future episodes.
Me too.
We're going to be on top of that. So thank you for being here today.
Great seeing you.
Yep, absolutely. And we'll talk again soon. Thank you.
Okay, guys, so we do have some new movies coming out, and one is called Cheap Thrills. Now, this is about a recently reunited friends who are pitted against each other in escalating bets. And this one's going to be out on March 21st.
Okay, and for all you Doctor Who fans out there, Karen Gilliam's in the new Oculus movie that's coming out, and it looks super creepy.
All right, guys, that's all for this week's episode, so we will see you next time. And Elizabeth, will you help us close out the show?
Sure.
Stay scared, Atlanta.